G'day, Starlo here. I've swapped out my Shimano hat for my Pirtek hat today because I'm fishing the annual Pirtek Challenge. I've fished this event since it started about 15 years ago and I absolutely love it. Anglers all over Australia pitting themselves against each other and a whole bunch of target species to see who can catch the biggest ones. And the money all goes to a couple of fantastic medical research charities, one for prostate cancer and one for brain diseases. So it's a really good cause and a great competition. Today I'm actually going to target bream. I reckon that's my best chance of getting a big specimen of one of the target species for New South Wales. So I'm going to spend at least half a day looking for a big bream, but I know I'm going to need an absolute whopper to be in the running. For a podium finish in this, I reckon you're going to need something over 45 centimetres to the tail tips, and that's a big bream. I've got a bit of a secret weapon though, and I'll show you that later. So I paid my entry fee, and a few days ago the package arrived with the measuring mat, the hat and my angler number, and then last night on the Friday evening they released the code word for this year, and this year it's bite. So let's hope they are biting. All right, let's go and see if we can find a big bream. I'm kicking off with my go-to bream combination of a light jig head with a squidgy wriggler tail in, you guessed it, the classic bloodworm colour. I'm fishing in almost 3 metres of what looks like open water, but I know there are some logs lying on the bottom here. That's the structure that I'm targeting. Snagged first cast. What a great start. Hopefully I can twang it off. Got it off. It should be right in the zone too, if it's that close to the timber. Oh, that was a bite. Damn. I was a little bit hesitant on the hook set because I thought it was a snag. Silly boy. Oh, look at that. First cast and my tail's gone. Maybe it was a tailer, or maybe it was just a bream that grabbed it so hard he broke it, but I don't know. I'll whack another tail on. Make sure I put this piece back in the boat so I can take it home. We don't throw discarded bits of soft plastics away. Having had a hit on my first cast, I go for exactly the same tail again, when you're on a good thing. One cast, got snagged straight up, and then missed a fish, so a bit of activity. At least I know where the log is now. I also know how important it is to rig every tail straight and true. I'm happy with that. I'll put a bit of S factor on. Love this stuff. It really boosts my confidence. All right, second cast. Test that drag and cast. It's critical to get that lure down to the bottom first. Wait for the line to relax as it touches down, then make contact with the lure and give it a couple of lifts and flicks. Between each lift, I let it settle back to the lake bed and sit for a moment. Keep everything nice and slow and watch your belly of line for the slightest tick or twitch that might indicate a pickup. Note that I mostly work the lure with the rod and then use the reel to recover slack line. Oh, I don't know. It might have been a tap. It was very, very soft if it was. There's a lot of big jellyfish in the water here too, and sometimes your line or your lure hits one of those and it can feel a lot like a fish. With these bright, calm conditions, I expect the bream to be fairly wary and probably not bite all that hard. Bit of surface activity. Wow, there's a bit of life. There might be a fair few tailor in here. A lot of mullet too, of course. But actually, under those mullet schools can be a really good spot for a bream at times. I'll try over there, where that activity was. I'm using my Motor Guide bow-mounted electric to hold my position. Alright, time for the secret weapon. My secret weapon is in this bucket, being kept alive and healthy with a battery-powered aerator. How good does that look? So this is my secret weapon. I went prawning last night, and as well as catching a feed of lovely prawns for my lunch today, I kept a few alive. I've got it set under a running float that'll fish at about 2 metres deep, and we're in about 2.7 metres of water here. And I'll lob it up there towards where I know the bit of structure to be, and we'll see what happens. It usually doesn't take too long for a kicking prawn to attract some attention. Oh, there we go. That's a bite. Got him. Got him. Oh, not a bad fish either. Is it a bream? Oh, you'd have to think it was. Don't think it's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, it's a bream. That's certainly not the one I'm looking for. Had to expect the prawn to work. That's not a particularly big bream at all. And it's hooked how I wanted to hook it, right in the corner of the jaw. Huh. Oh well, I'll measure it up anyway. Who knows, might be the only one I get. To be eligible for the Pirtek Challenge, every fish must be measured and photographed alive on the official Pirtek mat with both your angler number and the code word clearly visible. It's important to have the fish up the right way and its nose flush with the 0 mark. Then take your photo and check it. Well, 30 centimetres, that's not going to win anything, but at least I've got a scorer. Get it straight back in the water. Alright, I'll try another prawn. I quickly rig another live prawn under the float and fire it out there. And the lake's getting a bit busy. Well, that's got to be a bite. Got him, and he's not very big. Oh, what are you, a little tailor or something? Oh, yep, sure was a tailor and bit me off. Getting bitten off by tailor is one of the drawbacks of bait fishing, but I've changed my rig to a simple running sinker in the hope of getting through the choppers to the brim that I hope are below. Let's see if it works. He's got whacked straight away, but I think they're small stuff. Got him this time though. What are you? That feels a bit brim-like. Oh, not a bad fish. Not the one I'm looking for, but still Maybe an upgrade on my 30. Oh yeah, no, it's not. Well, slightly maybe. Shouldn't add it, but I won't bother. It's probably a 1 centimetre upgrade, so I'll measure it up. Perfect hookup. About 33 to the tips, that one. So it's actually a 3 centimetre upgrade. And about 15 centimetres short of what I need.
On goes another prawn from my fast dwindling reserve. How long will this one last, I wonder?
Oop, there's a bite. Got him. Oh, yes, that's a better fish. That's a better fish. Might need the landing net for this one. Oh no! That hurts. What happened? Just pulled the hook. Oh, that was a good brim, that one.
Striking fast to avoid hooking these fish too deeply isn't without its drawbacks, and I just experienced one. But there's nothing for it other than to get another bait straight back out there.
Oh!
This fish is fighting really erratically. It's got me a bit puzzled.
Don't you be a tailer. It's a brim, and it might be another upgrade. Maybe half a centimetre. Well, at least I'm fulfilling my mandate of hooking them all in the corner of the jaw, not deep hooking any fish even though I'm using bait. Nice solid black brim. They're in really good nick. Not hard to see why with all these prawns that are around at the moment. I'll measure him up. I don't know that he's any bigger than that 33 though. I think I've got one prawn left after this too. Oh, it's a 1 centimetre upgrade to 34 centimetres. Off you go, mate. You won't trouble the scorers, I'm sure. Worst looking bait ever. It's a piece of prawn that I actually trod on in the bottom of the boat. See how it goes. Oh, it got eaten by what feels like another tailer, so I'll probably get bitten off. No, it's a little brim. Huh. Definitely not an upgrade this time. Barely legal, if he is legal. Gorgeous fish though, he's just absolutely perfect. Not a mark on him. Young, healthy black brim. When I say young, it's probably already 5 to 7 years old at that size. They do grow pretty slowly. even in here with all this food. Oh, I even got a bit of my ugly bait back. I'll slip that out there while I see if I can find some other bits of bait in the bottom of the boat.
But I couldn't find any. Between them, the brim and the tailor had cleaned me out.
Well, it's been a pretty tough start to the Pirtek for me. I certainly haven't caught anything this morning that'd get me excited. 4 brim, best one 34 centimetres to the tips. I hope that's not the one that I'm going to have to put in as my scoring fish. Not sure what to do this afternoon and tomorrow. I'll go home and have a regroup and a bit of a think about it. Well, here I am back on the water for day 2 of the 2023 Pirtek Fishing Challenge. I had a tough day yesterday. I only managed 4 brim and none of them were big enough to be serious contenders, and I got them all on those prawns. Well, I haven't got any prawns today. I'm back to the lures, but I'm going to try a few different things. It's a different sort of day. It's much more overcast. There's a light breeze blowing, and I'm hoping that those things work in my favour. So I'm still chasing that big brim. Here we go.
I kick off day 2 heading to another of my favourite spots, and yep, going back to that time-proven combination of a squidgy wriggler and light jig head finessed close to the bottom. But the brim just won't play the game this weekend. Eventually, in desperation, I even resort to having a troll, running a small hard-bodied lure that dives to about 2 metres across some 3-metre deep cockle beds and mudflats. This is my least favourite style of fishing, but I know it can produce the goods. And I'm marking the odd scattered fish out here too. They sure look like brim. But my lure remains unmolested.
Alright, we've definitely got some targets showing here, very, very close to the bottom, and they're just showing up on the down scan as well, so they're pretty much underneath us. See what happens when the lure gets there.
And guess what? Nothing happened. By now, my short attention span for this style of fishing was fast running out. It just doesn't do it for me. It's too much like watching paint dry. Next switch up was a change to a metal vibe out in deeper water. I've had some brilliant brim sessions over the years on these EcoGear ZX blades. So here's hoping. And with the fast rising wind, I was certainly covering some water now.
Oh, there's a fish. Got him. It's tiny. Although we are blowing down on it. But it's a small fish. What have we got? One of the tailor that's been biting me off all weekend. Finally landed one. I don't think he's going to be legal at 30 centimetres. Settle down. Just pinned on the assist hook on the vibe, and that's why he didn't bite me off. I'll get a quick length. He's actually just on 30 centimetres, but I'm not going to worry about photographing him. I'm just going to get him straight back in the water. That's not going to win anything.
And neither was my next little willing customer on the ZX just a few casts later.
Little snapper. On the vibe.
And by now, weather conditions were deteriorating fast as a cold front moved in.
Well, that's Pirtek 2023 for me. I'm about to pull the pin. You might not be able to tell from this nice quiet bay that I'm sitting in, but it is really blowing out there on the main part of the lake. The temperature's dropping and I don't think rain is too far away. The fish just aren't playing the game. I really struggled across these 2 days. People often say to me, why don't you make videos about the times when you don't catch any fish? Well, the main reason is no one would want to watch them, but trust me, there's plenty of times when I don't catch fish, and even more times when I go out to target something specific, like a big brim this weekend, and fail. And failure is part of the whole game, and it happens to all of us. And anyone that tells you that it doesn't is kidding themselves and you. Look, if we always got them, it'd be called catching, not fishing, and it wouldn't be half as much fun nor half as challenging. The bad days just bring you one day closer to the next good day. Will I be back next year to fish the Pirtek? You better believe it. It's a great comp. Anyway, until next time, this is Starlo wishing you tight lines. Now I've got to go out and thump my way back in that gale.
Luckily my Beastmaster snubby takes all this sort of stuff in its stride and I don't even need to back off. I'll be back at the car inside 10 minutes and on my way home to warm up. If you liked this video and learnt something from it, give me a quick thumbs up and think about subscribing. Maybe even leave a comment down below. I'd love to get your feedback. Cheers for now.